Okay, hi everyone. Hi. Welcome back to Tag Tuesday. I'm Shelly, and today we're going to do a really fun tag. Today we are doing the top 10 reasons to love Star Trek tag, and this was an original tag by Gina Stanier Books. And I discovered or was watching videos about it this morning. And this morning was kind of rough. My oldest started kindergarten, and dropping him off destroyed me. So I really needed something to cheer me up, and I was looking at these questions, and they are wonderful. This is a tag by Gina Stanier Books. I'm not sure if I said that. And Gina has a wonderful booktube channel. She talks about the things that she loves. You can feel the passion coming through in the camera. I mean, she just loves her book. She loves the booktube community, and that's felt, and it's felt in her tag. She obviously put a lot of thought into it, and it's a really wonderful tag. So up front, I'm gonna say anybody who wants to do this tag, Star Trek fans or not, I would really encourage you to do this. It's a fantastic one. Okay, so there are 10 prompts, and we're going to start with number 1, of course. So in Star Trek, technology has saved the world. We are currently living through the technological revolution. Tell us a way that technology has helped you. What's your favorite tech? Okay, I am a library gal through and through, and so one way that technology has helped me is all of this searching. So instead of going to the stacks or needing to talk to a librarian, I can access the online public catalog and search through the library system that way. And through that, I can find a bunch of books. And actually sort of hanging out on the library website and looking at searching through books. I know it sounds kind of boring, but I actually really enjoy doing that. So that's one way is through search, not just library search. We search up questions, answers for questions all of the time, but my favorite place to search is the library. And what's my favorite piece of tech? Well, my most used piece of tech is my phone, but probably my favorite piece of tech is my computer. I like the keyboard, I like this screen, and I like that I can shut it off and put it away and not think about it for a while. Whereas there's like a little floaty in the air. Whereas my phone, I have a more difficult time creating boundaries around it. So my favorite piece of tech is my computer. All right, cooking has become an art rather than something required for survival. By the next generation, Star Trek has gone vegan. In Deep Space Nine, Sisco prepares special meals to express his love. What is your favorite cookbook or food story? How do you eat? And do you like to entertain or cook for people? Okay, I love to entertain and cook for people. I don't get to as much because of COVID, and I have kids, which means that it's just a little more difficult to have people over. But we're getting back into it with our bubble group, a small group of people that we know they're being safe and we're being safe and we're vaccinated. So, and with family, because I visited family recently. So anyways, I love to cook and I love to entertain. And my favorite cookbook, well, one of them is this old vintage copy of Betty Crocker's cookbook. I love to look at the pictures of it. Inside here, it's such a cute book. So inside, you get all these vintage pictures. I don't even know the copyright date. I don't know. Oh, 1976. So not like super vintage, but vintagey enough to have these vintage pictures. And, but the cookbook I actually probably use the most is Betty Crocker's new cookbook. And I use this to look up recipes for like barbecue sauce, waffles, the stuff that I don't always want to reach for my phone and look for a quick recipe. So sometimes I'll get it from here, and I think that this is my most used cookbook. Okay. Prompt 3. There is no need to exchange money, and the acquisition of wealth is no longer a driving force in our lives. We work to better ourselves and the rest of humanity. Picard said that. What is your best money advice or money book or money YouTube channel? My best money advice that was given to me by my dad was don't spend beyond your means. And this is a bigger piece of advice than it seems, because you have to know what your means are in order to not spend beyond them. So I did some experiments around money this past year, and I realized that there are times where I turn my spending tap on. So I'm acquiring a lot of new things, and I'm sort of spending more money and not beyond my means. And then there are times, and I think this is because I grew up in a rather frugal household. My dad was very conscientious of money. That was a concern of his, especially as I was growing up. And so, like I said, I turned the tap on to spend, but I think because I grew up that way, it's really easy for me to just say, nope, I'm done. I turn the tap off and we're done spending until there's budget to spend. And I didn't know that was a skill of mine until this past year when I did some experiments around spending and not spending. And I was really surprised to learn that about myself, and I was really proud to have that skill. So it's really not difficult for me to say no to an item, especially if I know that it's way beyond my means. So yeah, that's probably my best money advice. Prompt 4. They drink a lot of coffee and tea. I love the episodes where a cup of coffee is served up on the bridge of the original series. The original series is my favorite as well. What is your favorite beverage? Do you like going out for coffee? Yes, I have many coffee makers. I have previously talked about my vintage Pyrex percolator for coffee. I have this small 8-ounce percolator for coffee. I also have, when I visited Portugal about a decade ago, I have this little espresso maker. It's more beautiful than functional that makes coffee. And I actually have, I think, 3 more coffee making machines in my house. So we are big coffee drinkers here. We love it. We can't get enough most of the time. And I take mine with milk. I don't put sugar in it anymore. That was, oh, they're tinkling. Okay, I don't put sugar in my coffee anymore. It was a habit that I got into, and then I realized that I was probably having a bit too much sugar in my life, so I cut that out. But I also drink coffee black, just plain, and I like coffee always, all different ways and always. Actually, if you were to visit almost anybody in my family, they will offer you immediately, do you want a cup of coffee? It is a little cultural thing that is in my family that we do. And when I visited them last month, I drank a ton of coffee, because when somebody offers you a cup of coffee, you have to say yes, even if it's 3 in the afternoon and you'll stay up till midnight because you drank a cup of coffee way after you should have. But yeah, coffee, big thing in my household. Okay, I'm still on the no editing train that I'm still doing for my second video. You know, this is the second video I'm not editing. However, if there are cuts, it's probably because my camera likes to shut off, and sometimes it overheats, so I need to give it a break. Again, I'm sort of working out some tech issues. The camera is not one of my favorite pieces of tech, but I do love it. I don't know, I have a very complex relationship with cameras and filming and, you know, doing this thing. Okay, prompt 5. All Star Trek series attempt to address social issues of their time. What is your favorite book on a topic that is important to you? I recently, actually this month, I read The Red Tent by Anita Diamant, And this is a story about the women in the Bible, specifically in the Old Testament. And so a lot of times in the Old Testament, they explore the story of the men, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then the son Joseph. And what Diamant does is that she tells the story of the women that were involved. It's a fictional tale using the events of the Bible to drive the story. And the issue that she talks about is the patriarchal structure and the way that women fit into that structure and learn how to thrive or sometimes not thrive in it. And I thought that was really interesting. I think that that structure is really interesting and that we see a lot still today. And I thought that a book about women's issues, especially during biblical times, was really, really fascinating. But mostly, I really love perspectives that women give on society and our roles in society and our roles in the household. And I like reading about books on that issue and the, rebellious women in history who are trying to change our roles. I love all of that. I do. And I actually tend to read more books by women who address that kind of issue. If it's a book by a woman with talking about women's issues and with strong female characters, strong, well-developed female characters, that is my jam. So, The Red Tent by Anita Diamant. Okay, Spock and Kirk have the best relationship on any show or series ever. Share a book with a unique or complex relationship, or share your favorite Star Trek relationship. I also love Spock and Kirk's relationship. It makes me happy to see as I'm looking around for the book that I was going to talk about. Okay, hold 1 second. Okay. All right. I wanted to talk about Lord of the Rings. I love Sam and Frodo's relationship. I just think it's so touching. It's such a wonderful friendship, and it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. They're just so sweet with one another. Yeah, I just really love that relationship and their dynamic. I just love it. Okay. Star Trek has a wonderful style. I totally agree. Over the series, the uniforms and characters' style have evolved. There have been some hideous and some have been wonderful characters' hair changes. Hello, Chekhov's wig. Do you have a personal uniform? Do you have any fashion or style faux pas from your past? Okay, my style uniform when I was working was a dress. I always wore dresses. I was actually known for that I wore dresses. And if I showed up in my classroom wearing pants, my students would say, "Oh my goodness, Miss Swearingen, you're wearing pants," because it was just such a rare occasion. Nowadays, as a mom, I'm staying home. I am doing things around the house. So my style is less dresses and it's more like shorts and a t-shirt. Though I'm trying to wear more linen lately because it actually really works with the humidity of the South. And as far as style faux pas, there have been many. My mom and my husband would say that these earrings are a style faux pas. And you know what I said? I don't care. I don't care because I love them, and I don't care if I look back in 5 years or in 10 years and say these were a style faux pas because I think they are wonderful. But the style faux pas that I did was that I tried to cut my own hair when I was about 17. I thought, oh, a pixie cut, that would be so easy. So I took a pair of scissors and I just cut straight up. I'll try and put in a photo if I can find any. The haircut ended up really cute, but the faux pas was that I tried to cut it myself and they had to give me a very, very short pixie cut, which turned out well, but the means to get there was pretty rocky. Okay, prompt 8. Star Trek has spawned an era of cons and fan culture, Comic-Con. That supports individuals and that brings us together as a community. What is your favorite TV show, movie, book, or author event that brings you together with your community. Okay, so right now I am in a rather large and lively group for Faulkner in August, and we are reading Sanctuary. So I would say that is bringing us together. We're actually all like reading and despairing over Sanctuary because it is such a violent and dark book. So I would say Sanctuary is bringing us together. And in my life now, in my real life with people that I have around, I am actually really fortunate to have a group of readers around. And something that we bond over is Southern Gothic stories and Southern Gothic books. So 2 of my friends are Southern Gothic aficionados, and they told me about Flannery O'Connor and told me how much they loved her. And so something that we bond over is recommendations for Southern books, Southern Gothic books, and we try and encourage each other to read more about the South since we're all living here. And we're trying our best to understand the nuances of the South and the history of the South. And one of the ways that we do that is by talking about things that are Southern Gothic. Okay, prompt 9. Star Trek books have beautiful and weird cover art. What is your favorite weird and beautiful book or book art? Show us your favorite books. Okay, so I really love orange books. So I have Patrick Susskind's Perfume. I have J.D. Salinger's The Catcher in the Rye. And I have Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad, all of which are this really beautiful orange. I also like when there is a limited color palette. So for this Catcher in the Rye, there's yellow, orange, black, and a cream, a white. Colson Whitehead has that same color palette pretty much, sans the yellow. And The Hobbit that I have here has a limited color palette. So there's the white, black, blue, and green, and they do that for the entire cover. And so I really like books that are that look hand-drawn, that look like a piece of art, that have a limited color palette. So not necessarily photographs or anything. These are my favorite kinds of book art. All right. I love Star Trek's vision of hope for the future and the optimism that humans can create a better society. Me too, Gina. Data, the next generation, wants to become more human-like. Are you a pessimist or an optimist when it comes to being human? Do you think we can make the Star Trek dream for the future a reality? Okay, I'm going to say that again. Do you think we can make the Star Trek dream for the future a reality? I don't know. I tend to be quite an optimist. Sometimes I have my moments of pessimism. I would like to think that we can create a society where we can live in harmony and work out our differences in a civil and, in a civil manner, in a way that we can sort of depart with our humanity intact. We don't crumble and start calling each other names and just close off our ears to listening to others. That's what I hope for. But right now, you're catching me on a weird day. My child started kindergarten, and I'm thinking, what next? What do I have to give up next? and so, yeah, because I do feel like I'm sort of giving him over to the school system. And I can be quite, you have to sort of peel my fingers off of things when I don't want to give them up. So, yeah, that's just where I'm at. On a different day, I would maybe enthusiastically say, yes, of course, I'm a total optimist. And then on other days, maybe when I've watched too much news or I've read a completely bleak book, then those would be the days where I'm like, no, there is no hope for the future. Yeah. So it just depends on the day, I suppose. But yeah, okay, so in regards to tagging people, I would say anybody who likes Star Trek. I didn't start with this, but I am an original Star Trek fan. I do like it. I've watched a number of episodes. I love the setting and the costumes. And we actually wanted to do an original Star Trek family Halloween, but we haven't done that yet. I'm sure we will. Okay, that's it. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.